Yeah. Good evening, everybody. It's Stuart Morse meets, and it's Stuart Morse meets the Vets A team. I know you met the Vets B team last week, but these are the A team. How we doing? I've got Matt and Mark. Who have I got here?
Fletch.
Fletch. Where did Fletch come from?
It's just Mum gave it to me many years ago.
Oh, blimey, O'Reilly. So we got Fletch. Tell me about the Vets team.
So we've been running as a club through Eckington Vets for 8 years.
Yep.
And last season was a particularly difficult season trying to get a pitch because of the weather, clashes with the Rovers, which is like the first team, and we felt we needed a new home.
Yep.
So Jed kindly offered us to be the Stratford Town Vets, which we took on to much excitement for the rest of the players to just make us that little bit more professional, have a clubhouse to go to, play on a better pitch, and we're super excited, aren't we, mate?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So, well, tell me about it then. You've been going to Ettington for that amount of time.
Yeah.
Vets is what age group?
Over 35s.
Yeah.
So we've got some nailed on 35s, and we've got a 53-year-old still playing as well. So, which is great. So.
I mean, it's all about playing football, isn't it? Having a bit of a social, as we do, of course, and it's a very sociable sort of atmosphere, especially here at Stratford Town Football Club with all the facilities that we've got here. And looking at that pitch out there, that looks amazing.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
Word.
Yeah.
So we've got two Vets teams here, and we've got Brearley, Ettington. Is there anybody else that's going to come in as well,
Well, look, you never know, right?
Yeah.
But who wouldn't want to play on that pitch when you get the opportunity, or the other pitch that's getting done at the moment? So we all like playing good football in the league.
Yeah.
Let's do it on a good pitch. Let's use these facilities. Will there be others? Who knows? We've got a squad of 32.
Wow. That's
so
good.
you could say there could be another team out of that.
So you've got a structured league where you play in?
Yeah, so it's a structured league. I mean, that's been running for probably 15 years now. So, big up to the Cat who runs that. He's the chairman of the league, and he's the manager of the Ilmington as well. Yeah. John Howard, and there's a cup as well. So
a fair bit of travelling as well. Didn't you play Honiton as your last game?
Yeah, so Honiton came up here.
Yeah.
And then Cropperty's probably the first we go, and Sidford. Yeah.
Right, so Cropperty is Oxford, because they have the old festival at Cropperty, don't they?
Exactly,
the Fairport Convention and all that sort of hippie stuff.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. and there's a few playing for them as well, which is interesting. So, it's a 40-minute journey. So, obviously the ones closer to home are better. Yeah. Because you get longer in the bar afterwards, so.
Absolutely. So, when do you play your games?
Sunday morning. So, Sunday morning, 10:30.
Yep.
I'd say home and away, mostly alternate weeks.
Yep.
Just because of the way the fixtures lie, which is another reason why it's great to have the second bet side here, because we can slot in alternate weeks. So at least, weather permitting, there should be at least a game down at Stratford every week through the course of the season, with the Vets obviously home and away alternates. Yeah.
Do you play on the 3G as well?
We don't want to, we don't tend to. Obviously, it's an option this year. Again, though, it's an option this year, isn't it? We've struggled desperately last year with weather, as everyone did. It's testimony to Mark here and the team that I think the first only had one game called off last year, which says a lot for how the club's going, how the sort of the maintenance of the club is, the quality of the ground staff, and obviously the new pitch that's being built as well. So hopefully we'll sort of maintain the grass pitches. If it gets desperate come winter, it gives us an option to at least consider the 3G, which would be good.
Absolutely. So 32-man squad. Yeah. When do you practice then? When do you train?
So there's an informal session on a Wednesday night that we have been doing for a number of years now. Yep. Not necessarily just for the Stratford Town Vets guys, but just for anyone who wants to game a football. We're going to streamline that a bit next year and try and sort of amalgamate it, so we have a Stratford Town Vets training session that then bleeds into a get-together with others, just so that we're inclusive across the whole piece, really, because there's some that just want to play football on a Wednesday night. There's others that want to obviously get that extra level of commitment through sort of Vets football.
Absolutely. So it's all about inclusivity. How do you get involved with the Stratford Town Vets?
So a couple of ways through either coming through the club here, We've got a Facebook page, Stratford Town Vets, which is up and running. It's been running for a while now, so you can come in through that. Equally, we've got a Stratford Town email account as well, which can be found through the Facebook. So either me or Fletch will pick that up and get in contact. We've sort of shown that progress this year, actually, because we brought in 7 new signings from last year through some of those sort of means, mainly through the means of the club, which is great to get some sort of more players involved in the club here.
So it's all about getting involved in stuff, but how well did you do last year?
So we were okay. We were mid-table last year. We were slightly different in our setup. Fletcher's already touched on this. It was much more of a sort of pub-based atmosphere, a bit more informal than we wanted it to be. Look, we're not saying that we're any superstars, okay? Our locals down the road in Leamington, they've got a very established vet setup, largely because they're managed by an ex-professional. So they have a better reach to get extra pros in. For me, this is about giving people the opportunity that have played first team football, say someone like here at Stratford, who goes beyond 35, 36, still wants to play a good level of football, but doesn't want to move into an area where, you know, they might get kicked around a football field on Sunday and they're used to transitioning from a good level of football and moving away, with no disrespect to pub football, to playing on a good surface, playing good quality football, keeping fit. That's where I came from. I previously came from Knoll. That's where I played my football, my vets football. So when I came and worked with Fletch here, it was really about how can we make the club feel part of the community? How can it be showcased as vets football? How do people have the longevity of a playing career that isn't quite yet walking football? And is it that bit that slots in the middle of the great over 50 side you've got here at Stratford? So now it gives us like a consistent dynamic, because those that come through our vet side should then be able to drip feed into the over 50s when their time is right as well.
Absolutely. So you just played your last league game of last season. What happens during the summer? Is there tournaments that you go to? Is there, well, what do you do in the summer?
Yes, and we've got exciting summer. So we've got 4 tour games.
Where?
So Newquay's the exciting one. So we're definitely playing football as well. That's not just about going to the pub.
Surfboards at Newquay.
Yeah, exactly.
So we've just been tried to be a bit sort of progressive in the club, as we've said. So in answer to your question, I think pretty much most of the players are fed up with the 100 WhatsApps they get off me or Fletch during the course of the season. So we're looking at having sort of June, early July as a bit of a break, allow people to go on their holidays, have time with family and their friends. July we'll come back with some light touch training, and then as Fletch said, during August we've got Buxton Town away. They've got a really good established vet side, great facilities such as Stratford Town. So we've gone to try and get on that level of where we can bring teams here as well and sort of showcase the stadium, showcase the club, showcase the facilities. So we can go Buxton Town away. The pre-season tour game will be FC Newquay down at their ground. And then Knoll I touched on, which was my previous club. We're going to go over to Knoll and play there. And then followed up with hopefully hosting Stone Old Elanians from the Midland Combination. They've got a very good vet team who won the National Jersey Cup. So every year there's a competition down in Jersey that a lot of vet sides go to. They've won that last year. And we want that to be sort of the final game before the season as a bit of a tester as to where we are ahead of sort of next season.
We mentioned that there's 2 vets teams here at the moment. You do play against each other as well, don't you?
We do, Fletch has more experience in this than I do, but there's quite a bit of history behind that game.
Yeah, and it's always been really competitive. They're a competitive side. We know most of the guys. We have a beer with all of them. The Vets League is very competitive. I think there was a surprise against Honington when we played that game the other week, Tuesday night.
The Sinford game was
Sinford under the floodlights, and a few of your friends came to watch. Expected to stay for about 5 minutes. They stayed for the 90 minutes because it is proper competitive football. And the games with Beardley have always been competitive. They're a great bunch of guys. Look, we'll play them next season. But the great thing is we play it 4 times on really good facilities, which we haven't done before, and it opens it up for the rest of the league to play in really good facilities as well. So there's plenty of room for both teams.
Absolutely,
and we look forward to playing them. Just be speaking to Jed. There's the opportunity to actually do a combined Vets team for the Vets National Cup as well. So I'll be picking up the phone to Greg after this and saying, Greg, do you want to put a joint team together to enter that to represent Stratford Town together? So yeah,
absolutely. So I guess once you're all mates and stuff, and you're in the bar before or later after the game and stuff, but once you go over that white line, is it a bit of the old red mist comes over a little bit possibly?
It's hugely competitive.
Yeah.
It's funny. You all just want to play football and have fun, but you stick a proper referee and put two linesmen.
Is there such a thing?
And we're searching. It doesn't matter. The competitiveness is just there. It doesn't matter about your ability either.
There's a few quotes in that as well. I mean, there's been a couple of games last season where referees have said at 90 minutes, that's harder refereeing that game than it is doing a Saturday League game in the afternoon. Just try and get that measure of controlling the game, but allowing the game to play, and also protecting people who, obviously are of a certain age. I think probably the favourite adage that I like to use is I still try and play football as a 28-year-old in my head, but probably with a 48-year-old's body below me. So I think, and that's really the bit that's really unique about Vets football. Across the spectrum, whether it's with Leamington with the Expos, whether it's here at Stratford Town, whether it's in the Central Warwickshire League, which is the Birmingham teams, most of those players have played a very good level of Saturday football, probably across this sort of tier 6 here at Stratford, across the Midland Com. So a lot of players that are playing on a Sunday will have an exceptional footballing ability, but their fitness has just dropped away as they've got older. So actually, technically, from watching some games of football, the standard can be quite good. It's the sort of pace that gets away from you in time.
And I guess once you're on that pitch, you've probably got a lot more respect for the officials. I say it gets, a little bit competitive, but you don't get the unnecessary swearing and banter at referees that goes on today. That is, really bad for our kids to model to.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think Vets football is a good example for the kids. Actually, there's no diving. If you do get fouled or a hard tackle, you don't roll around for the next minute. That doesn't happen, and certainly the swearing to the ref doesn't happen either. I think it's a great, fantastic example. It's a good point.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what it's all about, getting good morals into our youngsters, because that is probably something in the game that needs to be rolled out, stopped at the top. Look at that Fernandes for Manchester United.
Yeah.
He just rolls over and cries every 5 minutes, then gets up, runs away and scores a goal. That's what. But we want to encourage skill from people, don't we? And let people see what their natural ability is, rather than trying to influence referees and the like from not great play.
And I think that comes back to everything that we're doing as a club and that the other Stratford Vets side are doing for the club as well, because it's about having that community across the Stratford Town club and all the teams that are involved, and people being able to come, even if it's the kids just partying through the game, watching 10 minutes, of sort of breeding that culture together where, the kids can come and watch, they know there's aspirations, they can get some support around us, and we can equally support them. And that's really important to us, is trying to give something back to the club as much as just using the facilities here. And that is absolutely sort of front and centre of everything that Fletch and I wanted to do when we came to Stratford Town as part of the club, is try and give something back. And we've talked to Mark as the groundsman and said, if there's a game that you need to get on a Saturday and you need the pitch forked at 10 o'clock in the morning, come to us in the first instance. We'll find people to do that for you. If there's stuff around the club that's general maintenance, that we've got people in the team that can do that, we'll sort that for you. So it's about as much being in that sort of community environment and supporting the club, and then bringing that culture and ethos all the way through it, as you talk about, right through from being in the club, right through to the moment we step on the pitch and start respecting referees.
Absolutely. So we're looking at probably July start. Well, you're going to go on tour late June,
August,
July.
So we light train in July. The friendlies will come in August, obviously subject to the new pitch being built, subject to obviously the first team agenda, which is hence why we're trying to put a few away games in as well, just to give the club some breathing space. Then our first league game, bizarrely, is against Honington at home on the 1st of September.
1st of September. And training is going to start late July?
Yep. we're going to try and encourage some running is my plan. And I occasionally do the odd 5k during the week together, so we just thought that we might start doing something around the club, meeting here on a Thursday, going out for a trek around the sort of local area, get a 5k, and then bring the football back to the fore sort of towards the end of July.
I think late July then, your first training session, we ought to have another bit of a session, didn't we? And have a chat and then get going a little bit further. But it's a pleasure talking to you guys, and wish you all the very best, and welcome to Stratford Town.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Thanks very much.